We're about to take a journey to a land that for years was closed to Western eyes, China. In China, there is a familiar saying, "To see once is better than to hear 100 times." You are about to see one of the world's largest, oldest, and most exotic countries. Today, China welcomes visitors from around the world. They come to see the sights, the Great Wall, ancient palaces and temples. Wherever you look, you see details of daily life that come as charming surprises to a visitor. You are about to sample the oriental charm and beauty of China. Then, I'll be back to offer some picture-taking ideas that can help you create a photo diary of your travels. Now, sit back and experience the exotic sights and sounds of China.
In China, there is a saying, "To see once is better than to hear 100 times." To see China, we will journey there in pictures. To see an ancient land in a new age. To see a people on the move, a people who are growing, building, and renewing their own timeless journey through history. Travelers bring a variety of expectations when they come to China. What they discover here is all that they had imagined, and surprises beyond imagining. The People's Republic of China is a vast land, the world's third largest country in land area. The scenery is unique, a perfect subject for photographs. But most intriguing and most photogenic are the details of daily life that surround you. 1 billion people live in China, which amounts to 1/4 of the world's population. Their capital city is Beijing, also known in the West as Peking. The Western pronunciation of all Chinese names changed in 1958. Ming Wong, a resident of Beijing, can tell us more about the city that is her home.
Peking is an ancient city with a long history, about 3,000 years. As for the transportation in Beijing, besides buses, taxis, cars, trolleybuses, and also you can use subways. The main transportation in Beijing is bicycles, and the population of Beijing is over 9 million. And we have more than 3 million bicycles. There is a special rule in the city. One person can ride one bicycle at one time. Also, children are not allowed to ride a bicycle until they're about 12 years old. But in the countryside, sometimes one bicycle for one family. You can see, and the husband ride on the bicycle with the wife and the children, sometimes 2 children. And also the farmers, they carry a lot of things on their bicycles, vegetables, grain, even furniture, big table, chairs.
Beijing is a blend of ancient and modern China. In its center is the Forbidden City. Its 250 acres of buildings and courtyards once served as the center of government. This enclosed city within a city was home to emperors from the Ming to Qing dynasties. Another popular Beijing attraction is the Temple of Heaven Park. Once each year, the emperor would visit this temple to pray for a good harvest. This superb example of Chinese architecture is constructed without nails, made entirely of wood. Yet it has stood here for 400 years. Outside the city of Beijing is the Summer Palace. As you walk its garden paths and formal halls, you hear echoes of an earlier age. The buildings found on Longevity Hill include the Temple of Perfect Tranquility and the Palace of Virtue and Harmony. Travel into nearby mountains and you encounter a mammoth remnant of times that were not harmonious. Like the tail of a dragon, this huge fortification coils its way across the countryside. This is among the world's most famous sights. "2,000 years ago, China was divided into 6 states, and each built a wall to protect its territories. Emperor Shi Huang later unified China and linked these walls. He created a protective barrier more than 3,500 miles long, a structure of stone that earns its familiar name, the Great Wall of China. The past comes alive in a Chinese performing art called Peking Opera. Our guide explains this unusual art form.
Chinese theater is often called Peking Opera, but there are many regional variations. All have developed from traditional folk art. By using heavy makeup and graceful movements, the performer becomes a living statue of the character. Makeup and the costumes are important parts of the Peking Opera. The costumes are from the time of the Ming Dynasty, and they reflect the role and the personality of each character. Performers must have many years of training and many talents, because the opera is a mixture of music, poetry, acting, singing, dancing, acrobatics, and martial arts. Gestures and movements by the actors are important for aesthetic reasons, to create many pleasing poses, but also they have meanings. Walking in a circle means a long journey. Other movements represent climbing a mountain or wading across a stream. The stories are simple folk tales or sometimes from classic Chinese novels. With a charming story, a beautiful performance, and the symbolic style of the opera, the audience is carried away on the wings of imagination.
Peking Opera is a theatrical experience created from a unique blend of sights and sounds. Tai Chi Chuan, or shadow boxing, is a blend of exercise and a complex philosophy. Its roots are intertwined with the ancient sport of wushu, the Chinese martial arts. Guiding these exercises is an underlying philosophy of opposing forces, yin and yang, soft and hard, inaction and action. When opposites are blended into a harmonious whole, the result is a masterful control of the energy of life. Older couples often begin their day with shadow boxing exercises. Mr. and Mrs. Sen are retired residents of Shanghai. They live with their son, Sen Bongbai. There are 5 members of the family, the parents, 2 grandparents, and 1 child named Jing. Government policy encourages the families to have just 1 child. Jing is 12 years old. After her morning meal, she prepares for school. Sen Bongbai begins his day with a 40-minute bus ride to work. Two daily exercise periods of 10 minutes are held in schools, offices, and factories. For Jing and her family, the normal week includes 6 days of school and work. After 4 years working in a factory and 13 years in Tibet, Sen Bongbai is now a geologist employed by the China Geographic Mining Ministry. Specifically, he studies the ocean floor to help locate oil deposits. Within the family, there is great respect for older generations who most often continue to be contributing family members throughout their lives. Maltreatment or desertion of any family member is forbidden by law, as well as by social custom. The family remains an important unit in Chinese society. There has been a new addition to many homes, television. It brings to these families a broader view of their nation and the world, along with entertainment to end the day. There is a special place in the hearts of Chinese families for their children. A national holiday, Children's Day, celebrates their role in society. They are prized treasures of the nation, its envoys to the future.
Come and listen to our song. China is our home. See the land where we belong. China is our home. Welcome to our family. Enjoy the world we've known. China is our home. Mother shares her love for us with brightly colored clothes. Father works the land we love, so proud of what he sows. Like a picture, you'll recall the story of it all. China is our home. From land to sea, our song is history. A fearless dragon roars, a mystic mountain soars. Dynasties of old, a future bright and bold. China is our home. When we smile for you. That's the way we'll start. Capturing the moments to remember in your heart. We are one in all we do. We share the dreams we've known. China is our home. China is our home.
Far to the north, children and adults live in a city of ice. A city of 2 million inhabitants called Harbin. The magic of winter in Harbin is described by a local guide.
People enjoy ice and snow activities here. The skate, the figure skate and speed skate, and also the sliding, ice sailing. Children enjoy sliding very much because it's very fun. And we also have the female ice hockey team. It's the first girl ice hockey team in China. We train the athletes when they are young, very young. Harbin people enjoy swimming very much, but most of them swim in summertime. But we do have some people, a few number of people, swim in winter. We call them winter swimmer. They swim in the coldest days. So among swimmers, there are old people and young people, even some girls. They jump in the water, swim for 3 or 5 minutes, then they climb up and running around the swimming pool. It's a kind of sport. They said it's good for their health, but it's unbelievable. Some people said those people are crazy.
It may be unusual weather for swimming, but it's ideal for a display of ice sculpture. Ice from the nearby river is formed into objects of striking crystalline beauty. Lights are placed inside the sculptures. At night, with high-speed film in your camera, you can picture the colorful, glowing shapes that transform Harbin into a winter wonderland. Among the surprises in China are the many ethnic minority groups, more than 50 of them. Most live near China's borders in areas called autonomous regions. In these regions, they maintain ethnic lifestyles, their unique dress, languages, religions, festivities, and customs. National minority groups represent less than 7% of China's total population, but their diversity lends a colorful accent to the land. The proud Mongol people of the Inner Mongolian Autonomous Region once ruled all of China. Genghis Khan and Kublai Khan are among their forebears. These nomadic people live in portable dwellings called yurts. Even here we see signs of modernization. This solar panel and a wind-powered generator provide electrical power to the yurt. Mongols are herdsmen, and they roam the grasslands of northern China in search of fresh pastures for their livestock. They are famed for their horsemanship and are among the world's most accomplished riders. Marco Polo described the Mongols as, of all men in the world, the best able to endure exertion and hardship. Theirs is a rugged lifestyle. Far to the south, the Dai minority lives a more settled and gentle life. The Dai people farm the terraced rice paddies of the subtropical south. Rice is sometimes prepared inside a hollow length of bamboo. After cooking on an open fire, the bamboo is cracked open. The steamed rice inside has a consistency and flavor that make this a special treat. Chicken, pork, and fish are common food items throughout China. Meals in this region may include a variety of fruits and vegetables that grow year-round in the area's warm climate. Today, families are gathered for a special celebration. A decorative tree of presents is prepared for boys who are leaving the village to begin a period of study in a nearby Buddhist temple. Bathing is a part of the ritual. Hair has been shaved from the boys' heads to symbolize rejection of worldly pleasures. Buddhism came to China from India about the time of Christ. For hundreds of years, schooling for the Dai people was available only in Buddhist temples. The land and people of China have sustained one another for centuries, harvest after harvest, generation after generation. The agriculture of the South is based primarily on rice. Wheat is the principal crop of the North. Harvesting, thrashing, drying, and replanting is the never-ending cycle of farming in the northern regions. A system of government-sponsored incentives called the responsibility system has increased agricultural production dramatically. Throughout China, goods are sold at free markets. This is where extra effort beyond normal production is rewarded with additional income. Among China's exported products, silk has the longest history dating back to the days when caravans opened trade to other nations along the ancient Silk Road. An expert explains the miraculous process of making silk.
It seems strange, but to make silk, first there must be mulberry trees. This is because the silkworm eats the leaves of the mulberry tree, and only these leaves. The farmer must feed the tender leaves to the silkworm every 4 hours, even at night. The silkworm eats and eats until it increases in weight about 10,000 times. You can actually hear the sound as they chew the leaves. Here, the silkworm is in the last stage of development, and it is about 2 inches long and 1 inch in diameter. These are about 24 days old. Now the farmers pick up the silkworms from the bamboo tray and put them onto the straw bundle. There, the silkworm finds a place to spin its cocoon day and night, and it takes 2 days. Of course, the silkworm is not a worm, but a caterpillar, and the cocoon is made of natural silk fiber from glands of the silkworm. The farmer sells the cocoons to the state, and most are sent to a silk spinning factory. The first stage in the factory process is sorting to ensure the quality of the cocoons. Because the cocoon is dry, it is difficult to find the end of the strain. So the second stage is soaking of the cocoon in hot water to dissolve the natural glue. A single strand can be as long as 1,000 meters or more. Then the third stage is spinning. The workers put together 7 to 10 filaments into one thread, according to the different grades of quality. The thread is graded, washed, and wound into skeins. One skein represents about 600 cocoons and can be woven into 3 short-sleeved blouses.
The world has never lost its fascination with this magical material. Today, China exports 75% of the total world supply of silk. Within China, commerce follows the path of the country's great waterways. Among these, the Yangtze River is the greatest. Cruise ships offer travelers a close-up view of the mighty Yangtze. This is the world's third longest river after the Amazon and the Nile. And it is the largest in terms of the volume of water within it. So the Yangtze serves as a central highway for the transport of goods and people from place to place. The sights to be seen and photographed along the route include gorges that are famous throughout the Orient for their awesome beauty, for their solemn, misty movements. In the evening, passengers are welcome to enjoy a sampling of Chinese cuisine. The qualities of taste, aroma, color, and shape of food are all equally important. A friendly toast introduces visitors to the Chinese phrase for bottoms up, ganbei. The Grand Canal is a man-made waterway 1,200 miles long. It was created 1,300 years ago to connect the largest rivers in the land. Today, travelers can cruise the canal for an intimate view of lifestyles along its route. Of course, where there is traffic, even boat traffic, there can be accidents. Watch those intersections. They can be dangerous. If traffic and accidents go together, then so do accidents and traffic cops. It's the same all over the world. These birds are called cormorants. They're trained by their owners to perform a remarkable function: to find, catch, and return fish to their masters. The fisherman ties the bird's neck just tight enough so the bird is unable to swallow large fish. Each cormorant recognizes its master and his raft and returns there to deliver the catch. About 1,300 years ago, these words were recorded by the writer Du Fu. For every family that raises cormorants, there is fish in every meal. The truth of that statement is preserved in the timeless lifestyle of the cormorant fishermen of the Li River. The Li River is surrounded by spectacular landforms. These fantastic vistas are found in only one area of China called Guilin. To see Guilin is truly better than to hear about it 100,000 times. Its towering limestone hills are a monument to nature's ability to surprise and inspire us with its unimaginable variety. For centuries, artists have come to Guilin to communicate its essence using only brushes, black ink, and paper. These simple implements are transformed through the artist's vision into a perfectly composed landscape scene. The work is signed with a personal stamp called a chop to identify the artist. The written language of China is made up of characters. 50,000 characters exist, of which about 5,000 are commonly used. Through the brush strokes of a master calligrapher, ordinary characters become extraordinary expressions of energy, vitality, and artistic sensitivity. This sensitivity to the delicate beauty of the world is shared with those who visit here. It is China's gift to travelers. Because this land and its people are so different, visitors rediscover the beauty in a human face, in earth and water, in architecture, in the activities that surround a traveler on every step of the journey. To see once is better than to hear 100 times. To photograph those sights is to see again, to rediscover the delicate beauty of a world apart from other worlds, to share it with others, and experience the journey again.
On a long road, China, one nation travels together through one past, one future, time journeys on. Streams that begin from so many hearts, so many lands, so many different people will travel as one. Like the tide of the Yangtze, our timeless journey has only begun.
China. It's a very special place, isn't it? A wonderful place to travel and a great environment for picture taking. You know, one reason traveling and picture taking go together is that, as visitors, we have a greater awareness of what we're seeing. That's even more true when we're discovering a new culture. That sensitivity is a key to good travel pictures. When you go to a new place, think about what attracts your eye. Then use your camera to record whatever it was that appealed to you in that scene. Possibly the most useful of all tips for travel pictures is to have the subject fill the viewfinder. One way to enlarge the subject is to move closer with your camera. If you're using a camera with interchangeable lenses, you can make the subject larger from the same position by changing to a telephoto lens. Remember that your eye can concentrate on a small area in a scene, while your mind ignores the surrounding area. To photograph that small area that attracted your attention, you'll need to move in close or change lenses. The goal, of course, is to create a picture record of the delightful details that distinguish this country and its culture. Try not to overlook the obvious, including food. Chinese cuisine is unique in the world. Your photo diary of travels in China won't be complete without pictures to illustrate the decorative display of these dishes. Architecture is among the subjects you'll want to include in your photo diary. You'll want to photograph overall views of buildings and their natural settings. Then you can move in closer to focus on the details that add character to Oriental architecture. You can show the order, balance, and symmetry in the design and decoration of these buildings through the careful composition of the image. Something that will surely catch your eye in China are the faces of the people. Children in particular are among the most appealing of all picture subjects. Keep in mind that you'll always be angling your camera down on children, forcing them to look up. However, if you bend down and shoot from the child's level, you'll often get more natural expressions and more pleasing results. Photographing people and recording a culture in pictures is a great deal of fun. I hope you'll use this tape to help prepare for your future travels. Watch it once, and you've seen what China has to offer you as a traveler. Watch it again, and you can list the picture subjects that appeal to you as a photographer, those you might otherwise overlook. You may also want to review the tape without sound to concentrate your attention on the images, their content, and composition. I hope you've enjoyed this photo excursion to China and that you'll join us for more travels to scenic destinations and other editions.
Now you can learn to take better pictures with these video cassettes from Kodak. For the serious amateur, step-by-step approaches to composition, lighting, lenses, filters, and film principles. For more advanced photographers, on-location tips from professionals. And for everyone, the best of Kodak's photo travel films. Over 20 programs available to you now from Kodak, the people who wrote the book on photography.